Upon finishing this episode, I decided that this was pretty dark and worthy of a disclaimer. We try to do our best to brush over the dark parts, but it's GESPR. It gets dark. And if you know anything about the Dutroux case, if you scratch the surface on this, then you know this shit's serious and dark. So just a little disclaimer. Enjoy the show. All right, all right. Welcome to 6G Agenda. I'm Andrew, and this is my boy Justin Ward on the chords.
Yo.
Hey, and we talk about what they want. Welcome back for any repeat listeners. Appreciate you. Thanks for the love. OG Tell, aka Let It Go Backwards. I thought that was a good idea. I was hoping you guys had some other ideas. So give us some other ideas for some little t-shirts. We're gonna get some shit made. I'm not all about like the merch shit, but I do fuck with the idea of wearing a t-shirt that has some stuff on it that only if you know kind of thing. So anyway, that's kind of fun.
We should get beanies. I'm tired of wearing something that says King on it. I want a 6G logo right here.
That's a Saturnalia ass beanie you got there, bro. What the fuck?
It's anyway, dubstep, it's all right. But I guess, sure.
It proves my point. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So welcome. We do have some things in development. We're gonna be getting that premium deal going on. We're gonna be bringing you live like current updates during the week, little emergency podcasts, things like that. And we're also gonna be doing bonus episodes. So definitely be looking out for that. We'll probably just keep it one tier. We're not gonna be weird like multiple tiers for all this. No, just one tier.
No VIPs.
Right. Yeah, man. We'll meet you in the middle at 7. And we'll have a good time, dude. We're gonna, live interactions. We're gonna do some merch giveaways, all that good stuff. So be looking out for that. We also do have a sponsor in the works. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we're gonna get that going. So we're just kind of vetting it out, making sure it's something legit that we would want to bring to you. So I'm literally gonna try it first and everything. And then if I, once I get down to the nitty gritty and make sure it's legit, then we'll start. We'll give you that deal.
Yeah, we can give you honest review.
Yeah, I don't want to push out some bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in that. I would rather just do our thing. But yeah. So we wanted to maybe get back into that GESPR series. Have you guys been missing that? I hope so. We got some stuff we've been brewing. I've been deep diving. And we're gonna kind of pack a few into one on this one. I think it's worth it. Because you could find a lot of good episodes on this stuff if you want to, get some other points of views. But I also want to mention something as I've been looking into this. This is why I want to wrap it with our Dutroux case and the Franklin scandal. I wanted to wrap into that, something in development right now in my home state in the Midwest. And it's pretty nuts. So we're going to probably get into that too. Before we get too deep, definitely go check out our description. Go follow us on social media and everything. That's where you'll be getting updates about the lives, especially if you do get on the premium. You know what I mean? And, we need the love. We can't even go live on YouTube till we get, enough people. So definitely just follow us. Even if you listen on Spotify, just go follow us everywhere. Just give us some love. And, we could bring more to you. Because they definitely keep it on lock, man. Like you got ceilings you got to bust through before you could Yeah, it's crazy.
You have to have it's all right, 99 followers before you can,
yeah,
1,000. Another
they
person.
said 1,000. It was nuts. 1,000. Yeah. It's like, all right, man, I get it, but like, whatever.
On
it's
YouTube,
cool.
It's like you could go live, but you have to have a certain amount of subscribers to do the live and the reels or whatever.
Yeah.
In the shorts.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, TikTok's kind of whatever. So we wanted to talk about, I definitely did. Justin maybe did. I didn't really confer with him, so I don't want to speak for us both. I wanted to talk about originally, like the Manhattan Shooter, Cult of the Black Cube. I want to do a deep dive on that. There's a book that's been written about that by a guy who apparently did some work with some black magic and like wrote a whole book on Saturn. I don't know, the Black Cube. So that would be cool. I want to get into that.
All right.
So let us know, if you guys want to. But we're not gonna do that this time. We're gonna do the GESPR. But let us know if you want to hear about that. If you want to hear about the Manhattan Shooter, what we think, maybe that ties into, via the 33rd floor that he ended up on to kill the
Mm-hmm.
Blackstone employees. I mean, come
Saw
on.
that.
I'm excited to do that, but I feel like we've been pushing off this Jesper for too long. We've done 2 chill pods in a row. So it's like, all right, let's go ahead and get back on track. You know what I mean?
All right, let's do it.
There might be people waiting out there for the Jesper, I don't know. So let us know about the other stuff. We could get into that too. So, first off, there's something called Operation Soap. It's been going on near me in my home state. I'll just say it. It's in Missouri. Misery. So in October 2024, there's a group that pretty much started, something that they believed in. They wanted to go and try to hunt down child predators, right?
Yeah.
And they were looking at local areas, just trying to figure, just help. They weren't posting it. They weren't trying to be glamorous and like, do the whole live as they get somebody in a Dairy Queen and, like you've seen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They were just trying to be legit and do it the right way, not flashy. But in 2025, they had momentum on their side. One predator a week was their pace, and every week brought another name. I don't have this memorized, so I'm gonna have to read some of this. We even caught a family member, they say. We went live during our catches so the public could see the truth unfold in real time. It was about awareness, about making sure families knew who was living among them. But everything began to change. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because it's just like the Dutroux case, dude. It's actually crazy. The post slowed down, the live video stopped. People began to ask where Operation Soap went. The truth is, they got close to something dark. They were unknowingly closing in on someone tied to a child sex trafficking operation, not overseas, not in some distant city, but right here in Missouri. And they only found out because a jurisdiction reached out and warned them not to proceed. What they didn't say was how deep that this darkness ran. That's when things escalated. Members of their team began to realize that they were being watched. Unmarked vehicles lingering outside their homes, strangers were following them through stores, making no effort to conceal the fact that they were watching them. Devices were remotely accessed and compromised. One member's garage was open in the middle of the night. And if that wasn't bold enough, they even had the audacity to knock on their doors. And they weren't just being watched, apparently, they were being hunted. And then some of them, I think that they used ChatGPT to write this. I think they were like, tell me this, like, I'm going to tell you everything we did, but I want you to write this for me so it can come out as like, because the way it's written, I can tell, but also this is a real operation. So that's what's weird about it. So it's like, okay,
Right.
Anyway, some of the very people tasked with protecting children already knew about this trafficking ring. Not only did they know, they did nothing. And worse, they tried to silence these people. They were trying to help these kids. They used their badges not to help them, but to attempt to shut them down. One of the agencies involved was created specifically to catch child predators. That is their mission, yet they were obstructing a group of parents trying to do exactly that. And it didn't stop there. This is just so reminiscent of the idea that these systems were created to facilitate this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's hard as it is to believe. I'm sorry, man. There's too many examples of this going on. So anyway, this ring wasn't just a handful of sick individuals hiding in the shadows. It was protected, shielded, and surrounded by power. They uncovered links to attorneys, judges, prosecutors, police officers, politicians, and even business owners. And they said they won't name the towns, departments, or counties because they fear the truth. But not because they fear the truth, but because they already know what happens when you get too close. They're worried about their families, I assume. People we trust to serve and protect turned their back on us. Some even turned their power against us. people we trusted to serve and protect, their back. I said that part already. It's easy to believe. Uh, yeah, it's easy to believe this can never happen in your neighborhood or to your family, but they're telling us that it is happening right now in our community, right behind our backs. And yeah, so they're stepping away from this operation that they had going on covertly in Missouri, not because they lost the will to fight, but because they were not because they were wrong, but because they have families to protect. That is why. They've looked into the eyes of the people that they're against, and they know what they're capable of and the resources they have. So yeah, they
Hmm.
said that they want to be clear and they still believe in law enforcement, respect and support the brave men and women who wear the badge with integrity, who risk their lives every day to protect their communities and uphold the law. As do I. But there's fuckery afoot. You
There's
know what I'm saying?
always
I mean,
fuckery afoot.
deep fuckery afoot, dude. So yeah, this is about a small group of individuals, people in positions of power who chose secrecy, control, and self-preservation over truth, justice, and accountability. And their actions do not reflect the values of the law enforcement. Yeah, yeah. I understand. Okay, so yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So as I'm looking into this stuff, I run across that and I was like, holy shit, this is right now. This is, I mean, the stuff we're going to talk about is in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, 20, 30 years ago really doesn't matter because it's still very prevalent. So, all right, let's do Franklin scandal or Dutroux case first. What are you thinking, dude?
Coin heads. Detroit case.
Heads. Oh, wait, you called heads. I call heads, dude. That's how it goes, bro. It's all right, dude. It always lands on whatever I call anyway.
That's right.
All right. I keep looking over to the right because like you're over there in a little box on the right side. Anyway.
You can expand that.
No, it's a wait. Yeah, dude. I know what I'm doing. All right, dude. Justin's my tech guy, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. All right. The Franklin scandal is one of the most disturbing and controversial cases in modern American history. This is the American one. The Dutroux case is German, but we'll touch on the American first. There's themes of child abuse, political corruption, intelligence agency involvement, and elite pedophile networks. Despite the denials and mainstream dismissal, it has become the key reference point in any investigation into institutional abuse and blackmail networks. Blackmail networks, right there again.
Yep.
So, all right. So, Franklin scandal, sometimes called the Franklin cover up. The timeline was mid 1980s to 90s. And it was located in Omaha, Nebraska, but connected to Washington, D.C. and beyond. I if you want to get should we break down why? No, it's fine. It's not that serious. I mean, we could because I'm sure that Washington D.C. to Nebraska and beyond. I mean, I wonder how many schools connect to this, or is it schools? No, yeah, yeah, never mind. Dude, so also I want to get into the North Fox Island where they were like possibly hunting people, but it wouldn't let me. So I tried to look it up and it's very hard to find any good sources on it.
Yeah.
So I tried asking AI and it's like, nah, dude,
They
you don't
wiping
get to find.
everything.
You don't well, it was just against their content, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So I'm like, all right, dude, well, I'm not doing nothing. I just want to know who's doing what, you right?
Right.
But so I went too far with that one, but don't worry, I'm digging and I'm gonna figure out how to get as much information as possible that's new and fresh. So there's key players involved in this. Lawrence King Jr. is the main guy, Larry King, aka, but not the guy from the show, the CNN show.
Different Larry King.
Yeah, different Larry King, Lawrence King. He was the manager of the Franklin Community Federal Credit Union and a central figure in the scandal. There was Paul Bonacci, a key victim witness who claimed nationwide trafficking and abuse, and Senator John DeCamp, who was the author of the Franklin cover-up. Maybe that'll have some stuff about North Fox. Former Nebraska state senator who investigated the scandal, and FBI and DOJ were accused of obstruction and cover-up. This was all like Bush era, um, kind of people as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so can't trust any of them either. You know,
Mm-mm.
dude. Recently,
Any
Bush gave
from
us.
that Bush era, dude.
Yeah, dude. Recently, Bush Jr. gave a speech, and he was talking about something, and he accidentally said uh that Russia's invasion of Iraq, and he meant Ukraine. He's like, I mean Ukraine, and he's like, well, Iraq too. It was like,
Wrong
damn, dude.
vowel, bro.
No, but yeah, I think he had the Iraq thing on his mind because he took us to war with Iraq.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And every other time he was on that fucking podium talking on the microphone, he's talking about going to war with Iraq. So he's like, wait, I'm saying something else?
Dude, what a
Anyway,
goober.
yeah, it was funny. Lawrence King was a rising Republican figure. He was the manager of the Franklin Community Credit Union in Omaha while making appearances at political conventions and singing at the Republican National Convention. He was allegedly using the credit union to launder millions of dollars. Some suggest that this was for illegal activities like child trafficking, drugs, and arms. And I think a lot, like we've talked about, I think there's a big, you know, black market money laundering, for all this super illegal, fucked up shit that they do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's why these guys are so rich, but then they own companies and they're probably not even good businessmen, but because they have all this money to launder, you know what I'm saying? It like looks good.
Yeah.
But maybe they are. Maybe they're just wrong, on top of that. But I would imagine you can't be too good of a businessman and make too much money on your business if you're trying to launder, because then it's like it's probably harder because
Yeah.
you're already making the capital's already there.
Right.
But yeah, so the allegations of the child sex trafficking goes as such. Witnesses and victims began to come forward and alleging that King was running a sex ring, flying little ones, we got to stop saying children, from orphanages and foster care across the country for use in elite parties. Because this is sick, dude. And this is why I wanted to do
Yeah.
this on the premium feed. This is why I was going to push it off, do the chill pods, because a lot of this stuff, like, I'm getting flagged just for looking it up. There's no way I'm going to be able to talk about it and not get shadow banned. So I'm just kind of worried about it. But it's okay. We're going to give you this last one. And we're going to try to wrap up a lot of it into this one. And then if we do any more, just know, just remember how much you like these or how in depth and fucked up and crazy they were. And you hop on there because it'll be equally as so. But yeah, they were flying children from orphanages, foster cares, and they were bringing them to elite parties. And this was all being talked about in the 80s and 90s before Jeffrey Epstein was even a thing. So, I mean, this has been going on. Papanacci was a young man with dissociative identity disorder. I said that shit like pretty fast. I thought I was going to stumble. He gave extensive testimony. And he described being abused from a young age, taking trips to Washington, D.C., and seeing prominent politicians and businessmen abuse children, little ones. Ritualistic abuse and mind control elements were also cited. And he described blackmail parties where children were. I keep doing it, dude. I'm really trying not to do it. Anyway, they were photographed with powerful figures, implying an organized, comprised network. I mean, it's not like we're making money on them anyways, these videos, but it's like still though, they look through it and like
Yeah.
they'll make sure
They
that we'll
have
never make money
it's
because
a
we'll
key
never get to
word.
anywhere.
It's a
Yeah,
key
it is a
word.
key word, dude, especially when you're saying these other keywords
Right.
that are dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I was told that if I ever told anybody, they would kill me. I saw people that were raped and then killed. Bonacci's testimony.
Hmm.
Yeah. Pretty fucked up.
Dude, all this shit we talk about recently, especially in the GESPR series, has been so fucked. I mean, that's the whole point
Dude,
of this
it
shit,
is.
but it's been so fucked to
I don't
hear
enjoy talk. I mean,
that
dude, but
these
you don't hear
slimy
this enough.
fucks actually existed. And
Yeah.
it's we get flagged because like I don't know, I guess it's not their agenda to push. It's not their content
They
that
don't
they
want it
want to
out
push.
because
But
they're
it's also
involved.
like, why not let people know? I get, sure, the platform we are about to choose to do this on is more so for that. But why not everything else? Why not let everybody know that this shit actually happened?
No, exactly. I
I
mean,
don't.
Spotify is pretty good about it too. I
I
won't
mean,
lie. I
sure,
mean, they let you go, but
Spotify is cool.
yeah. But I mean, I just it's yeah, it's 100% because they just don't want. Yeah, man, they just don't want it out there. I mean, you see the lengths they're going through right now to just put the kibosh on this shit. They're like treason for Obama. I mean, guys, if you want to hear us go over any of that stuff, because we try not to keep it a political podcast, but at the same time, I mean, Jesus, everything going on right now is actually insane. And I see a lot of symbolic activity going on, occult things going on as well. And I assume that my listeners enjoy that. And so when we talk about politics, generally we try to infuse that. So just know that we will. So tell us if you want to hear about that. Cause I don't know, man. I'm telling you, with the killing of the kings, and then Saturn, he's known as the king of kings in this weird cult of the black cube or whatever. I mean, there's some weird shit going on. Like, they say daddy's home, father time, that would be Kronos, which is Saturn. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Just weird stuff, dude. I mean, the numerology, whatever, whatever. Don't let me get on a tangent, okay? Because I ain't gonna lie, dude. That's the stuff I enjoy. But let's finish up the GESPR series. There
Back
was a
to it.
cover up allegations. The grand jury suppression of Nebraska state grand jury happened in 1990, where they dismissed all allegations of child abuse, declaring it was a carefully crafted, rather, hoax.
Hmm.
Yeah. Several children went, which is really shitty because this usually happens in a lot of these cases where we said this before, they don't take the kids seriously. Like they don't listen to them because a lot of them are traumatized and they've been through so much and, they're frantic or whatever, like, or whatever, shelter, who knows how they act. I mean, I can imagine. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I get why they're like, oh, we can't go with their testimony. And then so therefore we could just throw out the rest of the shit, call it a hoax. It's crazy that they do this as often as they do. But several children witnesses were charged with perjury and imprisoned. That's what I'm talking about. Hold on. That's fucked, dude. I mean, yeah, despite detailed, consistent, and independently verified accounts, once again, children witnesses were charged with perjury and imprisoned, despite detailed, consistent, and independently verified accounts. That's actually
Bro.
really fucked.
Yeah.
There was no adult perpetrators prosecuted in this situation. And it's clear that the grand jury was dismissed, misled, manipulated, and used to suppress evidence, Senator John DeCamp said. So there's some fuckery afoot. So there's a book by John DeCamp, which is the senator that we just mentioned. He felt it necessary to write a book because of how much he probably was like just disappointed with the justice system that he's a part of via being a senator. Just with the whole three branch system. He was close to the heart of Nebraska, a political machine, and he began to dig deeper. And his book outlines connections to the CIA mind control experiments that were going on that were parallel with these children's experiences. Fuck, I said it again. There is ties to Boys Town, a Catholic-run orphanage from which many victims were allegedly sourced. Catholic, dude. Catholic
Mm.
churches, man. I'm telling you, the two Babylons, bro. What we talk about in this motherfucker always creeps up. It's like you could see it because you'll know the tree by its fruits. And come on, man. Oh, if you're still here, you know what I just remembered? I said that exact thing on the Outside Minds podcast, which just came out today. Go check it out. It came out today while we're recording this. So,
Oh, nice.
it's on YouTube, Outside Minds podcast. You know what I'm saying? My first feature on somebody else's stuff. It's pretty exciting. Hope you enjoy. We actually went real deep. We talked about wild shit. We had a great objective conversation about esoteric knowledge. Helena Blavatsky. We got deep, about all that stuff. They have a different point of view. I think it was great, balanced, and definitely check it out. Give us your feedback.
Yeah, I haven't even heard it yet, so I'll be
Yeah,
able to
no,
listen to that
me.
later.
Yeah, no, it just came out today. They just sent it to me. So we will be posting that on our archive as well. Just again, it's on there. So like go check it out if you hear this, and we'll post it on ours soon. We're trying to bring you what they want right now. You know what I'm saying? And they already brought that to you. So we're bringing you what they want. Okay. So the role of media suppression and FBI intimidation was outlined as well in this book, along with the implication of elite Washington players. And again, this is during the Bush-Ran administration. So no surprise there via the Zionist regime he had as anyway. Well, speaking to crickets, for that one.
Yeah,
Sometimes I feel like when I bring that up, it's like, yep. Okay, the Franklin case was the tip of the iceberg, a glimpse into the network of political compromise, perversion, and control. So this guy with the Franklin scandal might have been the first time that they were cracking open a little bit of that layer, to kind of see behind the veil and see what was going on. And it got boom, gone, kibosh, because this is the age before the internet. Way easier to get away with what they did in the 80s and 90s as far as covering this up, not letting anything out. You have victims that were coming out, like Virginia that passed away recently from the Epstein case. She was coming out very heavy. She was super brave about talking about everything that happened to her. And then she died. Well, she definitely died, but she died by suicide. So whatever. That happened to be right when the Trump possibly being in Epstein's list came out. So whatever. I think they're cleaning up right now. 100%.
for sure.
But yeah, man, it's just crazy, like the parallels, though, and it's obvious that they were able to just throw that shit under the rug, dude. Way easier. But yeah, so there was also some strange connections with the Johnny Gosch case. Papanacci claimed that he was with Gosch after his disappearance, and Gosch's mother, Noreen, came to believe that this was true. Should we look up Tiny Gosch case so we can get a little more info and people can have context? GOSCH case. Bonocci and others reference Monarch programming, a purported MK Ultra sub project involving trauma-based mind control, which we've talked about on here, the Monarch. But I think we should do an episode on that because we mostly focus on just MK Ultra and mention Monarch. So there's a disappearance of Johnny Gosch in 1982. He disappeared. And his mother said that Johnny escaped from his captors and visited her with an unidentified man in 1997. She said that her son told her that he had been the victim of a pedophile organization and had been cast aside when he was too old, but subsequently feared for his life and lived under an assumed identity, feeling it was not safe to return home. Dude, I think that they turned a lot of like celebrities, how we talk about like, oh, Disney stars, they end up so fucked up.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a lot of other people too. Like I think a lot of musicians, the whole deal. I think this is their background. A lot of them, for real. Some of them provably, you know what I mean? But a lot of
Yeah,
them, I think that behind the scenes, this is their background.
they had that whole Nickelodeon show, like behind the scenes or whatever of the Nickelodeon show about that dude who was preying on them kids.
Yeah.
That shit, like them child actors probably go through similar shit.
Oh, I agree, dude. And you know that we actually skipped past this part. Gosh's picture was among the first to be featured on milk cartons. So this is like
Mm,
the OG missing kid, like the first
yeah,
one. And of course, it's tied to a child sex trafficking ring. It's not just some random pedophile that's out here doing that. And, there's a theory out there that a lot of these, the satanic panic serial killers and all that was tied to, they were kind of fall guys that were procuring children and doing this stuff.
yeah,
But then it just came out, they're just serial killers that kind of had a little bit of a, what would you call that? A little bit of like a tendency towards pedophilia too. But I think it was a little deeper than that, even. But we'll get into that another time. So yeah, that's crazy. Um, I love this. His fate continues to be the subject of speculation and conspiracy theories. Well, how is it a conspiracy theory if you literally said,
yeah.
you just said in another paragraph that she was told by her son that he was terrified to go anywhere for his life because he just got released because he was too old from a pedophile ring? I don't know. That's crazy. Okay, so yeah, there was a connections to DC call boy scandal. Ooh, Craig Spence, a GOP lobbyist caught running male escort services in DC elites, died under suspicious circumstances. What's his name? Craig, Craig Spence. Let's learn what they got to say about this guy. Because this dude was on some fuckery, dude. Oh, he looks like a creep. They call
This
him a
motherfucker.
journal. They call him a journalist, but it says GOP lobbyist. So I wonder. Well, that just shows you the old you know, what is that called? The Operation Mockingbird
Yeah.
for the news organizations. Okay. Spence arrived in Washington D.C. in the late. Okay. Well, what happened? Get to what he did wrong, man. Okay, prostitution ring. Okay, Spence name came to national prominence in the aftermath of June 29th, 1989. Front page headline article in Washington Times identified Spence as a major customer of homosexual escort services, which had been raided in February and was now under investigation by the Secret Service. The ring was being operated by a man named Henry Vinson. Ooh, we should do a deep dive into this. Key officials of the Reagan and Bush administration were part of this, allegedly. Ooh, so yeah, dude, it gets deep. This is
Wow.
what we're talking about with the Bush administration too. I think all this just ties right in with the Franklin scandal for sure. And the soldier afterward refused to have sex with Spence. I mean, this guy was definitely just particularly into like men. Maybe not even all boys. It doesn't say anything about underage boys. So who
Maybe
knows?
just gay.
I mean, dude, if he was just in it, but who knows, man? I think that, with the blackmail aspect of it, the only way to really blackmail people nowadays is, you
With
know,
gay shit.
well, no, worse than that, the little people shit, because that's the shit we're talking about. I think that's the way you really blackmail somebody now.
Well, yeah, that's
If they don't
worse. Definitely
already
worse.
have, yeah, if they don't already have like other blackmail, like, oh, I know you killed your fucking chef in the pond outside, you know,
Yeah.
you know, cough, cough, Obama. Ah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Dude, his chef was a star swimmer, bro, and he drowned in the fucking pool that was like hip deep in the back. I mean, come on, man.
Not believable.
Come on,
Would he
man.
break both of his legs and his arms?
I wonder if he overcooked the chicken or something. What do you think he did? You know what I mean? Do you think it was like work related, or do you think it was because he knew too much
Ah,
related? Do you think it was like, okay, I had a bad day already and you just fucking burnt
yeah.
my chick? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think
You gotta
caused
have a
it?
really fucking bad day if you
Yeah,
drown your chef because he
dude,
fucks your meal up. Most of the
that'd be
time, you'd be
nuts.
like, "Yo, a little undercooked, bro." You just give it back
Yeah,
to him.
redo this,
Yeah,
you know?
redo this, man. I
Not
pay
that
you a
day
lot.
though. Not
Not
that
that
day
day.
though.
That
You
day,
know,
he
Mich-
was like, "You know what? This is the fucking last time you serve me raw chicken."
I'm telling you. Well, you know that, I mean, there's been rumor about him and Michelle like having a divorce or whatever. And I could give a shit less. But here's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I bet you that they probably were a little rocky around those times. You know what I'm saying? Like allegedly. You know what I mean?
Dude,
I mean, who
what
knows,
if
dude? I'm
she's
just
a
saying.
man?
What if she's a man and she drowned the chef? What if she drowned
Bro.
the chef, dude? That'd be nuts.
Oh no.
She
I
took
have
a
so
grown
many
man down.
theories.
All right, allegedly. Anyway, so yeah, we're just having fun. These are
Allegedly.
just theories
That's
and
right.
interpretations of what we see going on, right? Anyway,
Right.
so elite blackmail networks, like we just talked about, the idea that child abuse was being used as a tool for control. The photographing part of Bonacci, whatever his statement,
Mm.
kind of lays credence to that theory as well. Powerful men with minors to ensure obedience. There was some involvement with the intelligence agency as well, as always.
Mm.
They're always involved,
They always
because,
got their foot in the shit that's afoot.
dude, 100%. So some theorists believe that the CIA was involved in funding the operations for psychological experimentation and mind control via trauma and blackmail leverage. And they could have been testing on them via the pharmaceutical, cabal. Who knows? Because I've definitely heard that as well with some of this, where it's like they're testing children in like Guatemala or whatever, where they do this shit and whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah. So SRA, which we get deep into, a lot of people in Bonacci, the guy who was a witness to this shit and it happened to him, he described ritual elements, chanting, symbols, sacrifices. This has been both sensationalized and dismissed, but remains a disturbing part of the testimony. I had to add that in there because I'm trying to be objective. But if I was going to be unobjective, I would say this definitely happened to that dude. 100%, dude. Because
For
when you
sure.
know about the cult of the Black Cube and you know about the Saturn worship that's everywhere, and then you realize that, oh, the symbology is within everything, and that's really the underlying symbolism everywhere is the Saturnalian worship. That's when you realize, oh, but what does he do? What do you do for him? Oh, bloodletting, where you cut your hand and put it into a bowl or whatever with the
Yeah.
fucking a dead crow in it or something.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of shit you do. We should get into that book sometime, guys. I'm telling you, I'm excited to talk about the cult of the Black Cube. I really am because I think it's the crux of everything, really. So yeah, it's not really a single pedophile ring. This was a it's a case study in institutional protection, which is what we're kind of trying to drive at, the elite immunity and psychological warfare, the whole situation, which is what we see today with Epstein. So we're drawing parallels. But yeah, the pattern of suppression, witness intimidation, and media blackout points to something that is definitely beneath the level of surface.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get down into North Fox Island connections. And then hopefully
Mm.
we'll have time for the Dutroux case. So North Fox Island is one of the most overlooked pieces of this little puzzle here, which is the elite pedophile networks and child sex trafficking in America. But when we view it in the same dark context as the Franklin scandal, the Finders Cult, the Epstein operation, ONA, North Fox Island ends up revealing a disturbing template for how elite child exploitation operates and how they're protected in memory hold. Sorry, I was looking at what Justin was reading. It's called North Fox Island. Is it
Oh
Michigan?
yeah, look at that
Oh
though.
yeah, Michigan. Yeah, I said that.
North Fox Island, and it pulls up South Fox Island.
Oh my god, dude! They're like, we can't.
I already showed it, but dude, that is stupid.
Okay, wait. The Fox Island consists of the North and South Fox Island. So whenever you look up North Fox Island, it's like, look, there's a North and South, but you don't get to know about the North.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you wanted
That's
this
pretty
other
much what it
one?
says. Yeah. Are you sure you don't want to look at the other one? Can you visit North Fox Island, Michigan? I'm curious. North Fox Island is
Uh,
not connected to the mainland of Michigan. Access requires a boat or special transport. Of course it does. And that's why this was done there. Makes sense now, doesn't it?
that is so stupid.
Oh, that's crazy. So anyway, key figures involved in this situation was Francis Sheldon, a millionaire philanthropist and University of Michigan alumni. And this time frame was like mid 1970s. The cover story was Brother Paul's Children Mission, which is a fake charity to help troubled boys. But in reality, this island was used as a base for child pornography production and trafficking. God, I keep doing that. While elite connections and possible links to other rings like Franklin Epstein and Oakland County child killer case are also apparent. That's crazy. I didn't even know the Oakland County child. I forgot. Yeah, we got to look into that too. I totally forgot to look that one up. So there's just so many. It's actually crazy. We could do this forever. And it's like, I don't want to, if I'm being honest. Like, I
Mm.
have no interest in talking about, like, I just want to draw these, like, show this, draw the parallels, show how this is going on. And then we can watch out for it, be more aware of our surroundings with this shit.
Yeah.
That's really all I'm trying to do. So, what happened on this island that we're talking about? Sheldon purchased North Fox Island and developed a private airstrip and accommodations under the guise of philanthropy, as always. It's always under the guise of philanthropy. That's what we say. He claimed to be helping underprivileged and troubled boys, but in reality, boys were flown in via private aircraft. Victims described abuse, pornography filming, and ritualistic elements. Again, I love how they word that. It's always like ritualistic elements. We aren't going to go too deep on what that means, but just know that it's dark. But Sheldon had ties to other known pedophiles and sex rings in the US. He disappeared in 1976 when police started closing in on him. He was later traced to the Netherlands and lived under a new identity for decades, and he was never extradited. And we're talking about Francis Sheldon. So, Brother Paul's Children's Mission, the so called charity that we mentioned, was a front used to collect pretty much state funding and gain legal cover for bringing boys to the island. Connections to a wider network of men involved in pedophilia and child porn distribution were found. And the group also had ties to Boys Town and Michigan schools. So they're just supplying themselves with kids from these schools that happen to be connected to some kind of philanthropic charity and or Catholic church, right? So that's how it goes.
That is
So
so
this was
fucked.
this was not an isolate. Do you have anything that you want to add down there?
No, I'm just reading through this as you
Go
were
back up. Go back up to the
going.
Hermes part. Go back up a little bit to the Hermes shit. Hold on, just stop. Where did it go? Fuck. Where did it go? It said Hermes. It was like in italics. I can't see it, literally.
For me.
Hold on, I'll find it, dude. It's on your page. Go up.
All right.
What? Hermes was a boy love newsletter that had included classified advertisements for child pornographer John David Norman's Delta Project. The publication had also included advertisements for clandestine groups like looking to infiltrate community groups such as the Boy Scouts and church affiliated youth groups. So these guys were, like we said, trying to. Sheldon was never convicted of having fled the United States. Yeah, we said that. It was reported dead in 96. He was Richards, a school teacher, served a prison term for child pornography charges and was arrested again on child porn charges in 1968 before he killed himself in 98. So these are connected
Almost.
to the Oakland County child killer case. So we're going to have to go into that. Christopher Bush was a known subscriber to the North Fox Island ring, and investigators also believe that the perpetrator of the Oakland County killings could have been someone who victimized the group. So yeah, it all connects to each other. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, and these guys are in Chicago, and then they're talking about the Oakland City killers. So like, this is all over the place. You know what I mean? This is not an isolated incident,
Yeah.
as we'll get into that. Yeah, this was in 76, 77 for that. Where were we? This was not an isolated scandal, as we just went over. The people involved in North Fox Island were part of a national pedophile ring, if not international, which I believe it's global, international. It's the GESPR series. Gerald Richards, a convicted child pornographer and one of Sheldon's known associates. He helped manage the logistics of flying boys in and out and filming the abuse. He operated youth camps in other states, including Colorado and California. So we're just adding states to the fucking list at this point.
Hmm.
So the OCCK, Oakland County Child Killer Case, was a series of child abductions and murders in Michigan between 76 and 77. Victims often clean, well-fed, and sexually abused, suggesting that they were held for days before they were killed. And I believe that this is where I think there was some, this is talking about the Oakland, but in Michigan, the North Fox Island stuff, I think does connect with the human hunting. Look up North Fox Island human hunting and see if you can't find anything, because I know that I've read about it and I'm trying to figure out where I've read about it because I know that this is a part of it. It's going to be hard to find. So I'm going to keep going. So victims, yeah. One theory is that some of the victims were linked to the same ring that operated out of North Fox Island, which is why I think that this human hunting thing is an aspect of this as well. You know, do it under the moon, you have them run away, and then you go hunt them. Yeah, pretty crazy. Key suspect, Chris Bush, son of a wealthy GM executive, was tied to child porn and had known Sheldon connections. It's always like the son of a big person that ends up doing some crazy shit or whatever. Have you noticed that? It's crazy. Sorry, he's busy looking this up. We're trying to figure out where's the human hunting connections. There's got to be something. Who has an island that they hunt children's on? Go to Reddit. Fuck it. Fuck it. Who gives a damn? Let's see what everybody else's conjecture is. Okay, FOIA documents and local investigations point to intentional suppression of evidence connecting the OCCK to the island and its network. So there's FOIA documents that connect this shit. So I wonder where the FOIA documents are for this, Justin. I bet we can find them. Franklin scandal and Boys Town. Bonacci, Franklin witness, claimed he was flown around the country and taken to private estates and islands. He referenced being abused in remote elite settings, which we talked about, which matches the North Fox Islands profile. So the Franklin scandal like connects to this too. It's actually outrageous. So he referenced being abused in remote elite settings, which I said that, yeah. Boys Town was a recurring source of trafficked children in Franklin, and similar institutions were used in the Michigan ring. So, I mean, we got Michigan, Franklin, they said California, Colorado, Oakland. I mean, this is outrageous. So, yeah, it's pretty nuts. There's parallels, of course, with Epstein. You've got the private island in a remote location, just like Epstein, elite owner with ties to academia, private airstrips, and child trafficking, and disappeared from justice, just like Epstein kind of did through suicide. Or was his body switched? Was Epstein's body switched? Sometimes I wonder.
I've
I
seen
think it.
some theories on that.
I think it was.
I've seen some
I
on
mean,
that.
dude, there's a minute missing. So in a minute, you could swap a person in there and then hang that person.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michigan State Police lost the files related to the Sheldon and child porn ring. And the victim testimony was ignored or discredited as always. I just keep hammering on that, but it's actually crazy. And Sheldon escaped to Europe and was protected from extradition. No mainstream media coverage since the 1970s has happened since then. And so that's why Justin is still looking for anything related to North Fox Island. And even when you look it up, it pulls up South Fox Island. Yeah, many researchers believe that this network, like Franklin and Epstein, may have been leveraged or protected by intelligence services, including myself. Mind control experiments, blackmail operations, and supplying elites with victims as leverage for political gain. Yeah, I definitely think that was going on there for sure. Victims have described ritual abuse, psychological manipulation, and handlers, suggesting something deeper than just individual perversion. In Epstein and Spence, the island may have served as a blackmail honeypot, which is pretty obvious. So there are some documented sources that we could look at, and you as a listener, I definitely recommend looking at. FOIA documents from the Michigan State Police. Justin, you could probably find that. It would have them blacked out, I would imagine.
Hmm. What you
Corey
got?
Hughes and well, you could do like Control F in the documents and look up keywords, right?
Oh, I think so.
Okay, go to FOIA documents, North Fox Island. Okay. Corey Hughes and Ed Opperman were investigators who have mapped the pedophile rings network. So that's something else you could check out, guys. And Children of the Fox was a documentary by amateur researchers and OCCK victim families. So definitely check out that documentary. See what you can't bring to your mind and connections. Okay, see if you find anything about hunting. Just say hunting or hunt. Just hunt. Because I don't know if they'd even word it like that. It's pretty rudimentary, but whatever.
I'll look
So yeah, we're
it up.
looking on the FBI website trying to see if we can. I mean, they got everything whited out. What white out,
Yeah.
redact.
Redact.
But yeah, this is a chilling reminder that the Franklin scandal and Epstein cases were not anomalies. The fact that it was a remote, controlled environment, legal charity funds and fronts for grooming, wealthy elite with institutional protection, and child trafficking across state lines, very apparent. And then, of course, the government complicity and the media silence. And the outright just denial of a child's testimony of their trauma is actually evil, in my opinion. But yeah, that's what I think.
I'm wondering if not in the Dexter that's coming out right now, but the Dexter New Blood, the serial killer in that series. I'm wondering if
Mm-hmm.
he was kind of based off of this because he lured girls to like this safe house, girls that were traveling by bus. He would take them to his safe house because he would say, "Oh, I have a nice place that you can stay for a little
Yeah.
while." I can give you some money, give you a nice meal, and he would lock them in there, and then eventually they would go insane, and then he would let them out, but he
Hmm.
would put on this whole hunting suit, load up his rifle, and he would tell them to
Yeah.
run,
Yeah.
and then he would shoot them,
Yes.
and then he stored
Yes.
their bodies in boxes.
I fucking saw that, dude. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. And that's exactly what this reminded me of, was the fact that this has already been put out there in front of it. Like, you're gonna probably not even be able to find it because it's so horrendous. I couldn't
Yeah, and
imagine you find it. We're
this
gonna move on to the Mark Dutroux case anyway. I'll try to find it independently, and I will. That's gonna be another thing that our premium feed's gonna have. We're gonna get a website, and once you subscribe and stuff, we'll try to cite a lot of. We're gonna put all of our stuff. We're gonna make an archive of all this stuff that we look up, PDFs,
because
books, all that.
there is how many pages? There's about 370 pages in the first part, and
Right.
that's only part one.
Yeah, and a lot of it's just whitewashed bullshit.
Well, yeah,
Besides, the real testimonies that they redact.
yeah.
So yeah, we could get into the Mark Dutroux case next. We do have a little time. I think we have time for that. Where are we at?
We're probably about 50 minutes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We could chill. We could chill. You guys wanna do another? We got another. The Mark Dutroux one took me a little bit. I had to sit down for this one and really get into it. I'm gonna be going on the William Ramsey pod
Yeah,
uh tomorrow. And this guy, dude, he interviewed the woman who was like the helper, like she helped out, uh, all the detectives and everything during the Dutroux case. I wonder if I can find her name. It was You could definitely look up William Ramsey and then look up Dutroux case, and you'll be able to find that who he interviewed. But dude, she and really I just want to give you her name. It was like Carolyn or something, but she's a dude, she pretty much thinks that this whole thing's an inside job, just like the Operation Soap from the beginning of the show. She's like, she got deep into it and kind of has the same exact conclusion. So yeah. OUX. Yeah, he's a Karine Hatz. Okay, Carine Hutsebut, which is Hutsebaut. Okay, so yeah, look her up, and then yeah, awesome. So that's who that is. We'll put a picture of her up. She definitely has some stuff that she's written about as well. You should definitely
yeah.
check her out, dude.
13 books,
Yeah, dude. I mean, she literally, like, this is what it said. Like, her credentials are
probably more.
training of professionals working in the field of victims of sexual abuse and violence, but also the treatment of sexual. So like, she's deep in that shit. Look up the Marc Dutroux case, MARC Dutroux, so we could show them a little screenshot. But I'm gonna go ahead and read you my notes, and we'll see if they got anything in addition to what I have. So the Marc Dutroux case is one of the most notorious criminal cases in Belgian history. It was involving heinous acts of abduction, rape, and murder. And they exposed systematic failures in the country's judicial and law enforcement systems, similar to America's. Below is a comprehensive oh yeah. Okay, here we are. The background of Marc Dutroux. Let's start there and then we'll get into that. So, November 6th, 1956. He was born in Brussels, Belgian serial killer, child, yeah, whole deal. The eldest of five children, Dutroux had a troubled childhood, including reported abuse with his parents. So kind of the classic background of a angry, crazy person. And his criminal history escalated in 1986. He ended up kind of mingling at some point with some dark elite figures. And between 1995 and 1996, Dutroux kidnapped six girls, 8 to 19, four of them whom were killed while two survived. And his crimes were marked by meticulous planning, including the construction of a hidden dungeon in the basement of his home. Yeah.
Fucked.
And there was imprisoned and abused the victims. And there's also, like, I'm just thinking about this castle. There's a castle in France where they did, that might have been the human hunting one. I think that was the one. It was the castle in France, which we'll have to do another time. It's literally like called like in French, it's called like the dark mother of like or the mother of darkness castle.
Well,
It's creepy, dude. It's creepy. And literally everybody that comment, if you look it up on like maps or whatever, like and go look it up, everybody comments on it. And you got translated for French from French, and they're like, this place is evil. Like this is we know what they do there, and like all that. And it's human hunting shit and whatever. And they have a huge castle with a compound, and they just send them out. That's 100% what it was. It wasn't. It might have been North Fox Island too, but it definitely was that castle in France. So
yeah.
we'll do that as well. So essentially, you know, the way the Korean says it, he's driving on the highway. He sees these girls. The corn was cut, so he was able to see them on the highway. He pulled off the highway. He grabbed them and he left. Keeps them in his basement. There's multiple other victims though. June 24th, 1995, Julie Lehun and Melissa Russo, both 8 years old, were abducted while playing near their homes. The girls were held in his dungeon where they starved to death while he was briefly jailed for car theft. Too frightened to feed the girls, their bodies were later found buried in Dutroux garden. In 95, 17 and 19-year-olds were kidnapped while on vacation, and they were held in the dungeon, drugged, and later killed. So this guy, yeah, he was, boy, holy shit.
Yeah, this guy was
I
fucked.
got Yeah, we got a lot to get through here. Oh, fuck. Okay, so there was another one in 96 of May, 12-year-old. She was held for 80 days in the dungeon, chain drag. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't want it. I get no joy. Dutrow's house contained evidence of his crimes, including hundreds of pornographic videos featuring him and Martin. He was selling these videotapes, is what I'm trying to get to, okay? Showing him constructing the dungeon's secret entrance. He had a secret dungeon. He would go steal kids. He would sell the videotapes. He had elite people. He probably procured some of these children for them. It's very dark. So, into the investigation, because that's where some weird stuff starts to happen. I don't like dwelling too hard on them. I mean, you know what the fuck happened. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how many times can I say grape and SA and all this shit? Come on, dude. I'm not doing that. So, the investigation into the disappearance was marred by incompetence or nefariousness. There was missed opportunity. Despite Dutroux being a known sex offender and a prime suspect in the 95 abductions, police did not search his home until 5 months later. Oh, apparently there was like noises outside and like they didn't go inside. Yeah, it got crazy. That Korean chick was talking about it. Yeah, it's nuts. Because she was working with the detectives who were supposed to be doing this, and she started to realize that the people who were the child protective people who were involved were involved.
Yeah.
So she started to realize that she's the enemy, and it's not the person that they're trying to nail down. And so she started to realize that, and it got weird, and she kind of got out of that stuff, at least in that particular case. You guys got to listen to William Ramsey's interview of her. They didn't get into too much detail about the case, but she made that part very clear that this is a systematic thing that people are involved in the system.
Yeah.
There was tips ignored. This is the part I'm talking about. Dutroux's mother reported suspicions about his activities in 95, claiming he was holding girls in one of his vacant houses. But this was not pursued. An informant also provided details about a hidden space in Dutroux's basement, which was ignored due to rivalry between judicial police like jurisdictions. That's crazy. So finally, he gets arrested on August 13th, 1996, and Dutroux, Martin, and accomplice Michelle Leliver were arrested after an eyewitness identified part of Dutroux's van license plate. 2 days later, Dutroux confessed and led to the dungeon where these two girls were rescued. And then these girls talked to Kareen, and Kareen got all these dirty details about what's really going on, and it's dark. So Bernard Weinstein, okay, all these people were exhumed, followed by an Marshall and Eighth. Dude, I don't know. These are crazy French names. So anyway, Dutroux did not act alone. His known accomplices included Michelle Martin, who was Dutroux's wife and former school teacher. Martin was I'm sure he didn't pick her because she was a school teacher, right? He was complicit, she was complicit rather, in the abductions and knew of the girls' captivities. And she was sentenced to 30 years in 2004, but released in 2012. Jesus
What?
Christ.
Does
Yeah,
it?
dude.
Why was she
That's it. That's
released?
it. It sparked public outrage. And I'm sure it's because again, we'll get down to it, but they did a white march where with 900,000 people or some crazy shit, or 200,000 people marched. It was called the White March in Belgium because they were so outraged by how this was handled, because they knew that there was elite people involved in this. Like, we're talking princes and shit, dude.
Yeah.
Gets deep. So, Michelle Olivier, drug addict and accomplice, she assisted in the kidnappings and was sentenced 25 years. And this is where it gets kind of odd. There's a Brussels businessman, alleged organizer of sex parties, elite sex parties. This is a guy connected to all the other guys. Okay. And then he's the middleman for the elite people to this guy, Dutroux. You see where I'm going with this? That's how they work. Okay. Newell was convicted of drug trafficking and criminal conspiracy, but acquitted of charges related to abductions. And his claims is that he had information that could bring down the government.
Oh wow.
That's what fueled speculations of a cover up. Because this guy's like, look, dude, I'll fucking hit the kill switch if you guys want to sit here and throw me out.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
like, I'll hit the kill switch. You're gonna have to kill me
I'm
because I'm gonna
coming
tell
down.
everybody he's jerk.
I'm bringing you with me.
Dude, yes, I'm telling you, dude. It's like, I wonder how did he like, I wonder if he did the same thing. He's like, I'll hit the kill switch, bro. Don't
He's
fuck with
like,
me.
I'll air everything out.
Hmm.
Let me go.
Okay, we'll let him out. Trump's like, I'll pardon him. Trump's like, he knows too much.
That's why he's like, who cares?
Yeah, it's crazy. So the testimony by Sabrina and Letita, I don't want to say it wrong, so I just been skipping the survivors' names. They provided harrowing accounts, stating that Dutroux was their sole captor and abuser, apparently, but they could have been coerced to say that. Or again, these are two girls. There's multiple others, and again, he could have been selling the pornography with them in particular. Who knows, dude? I think that it goes deeper than just he's the sole guy. He's there's a middleman involved and everything else. So, but yeah, Dutroux admitted to kidnapping and raping Dardine and Delise, but he denied murdering the four victims, claiming responsibility only for failing to protect them. Whatever that means. He was convicted in 2004, and the controversies that we uncovered was that this whole trial was pretty much a circus. It was it was boycotted due to the perceived lack of progress and transparency, the refusal of to test hairs found in the dungeon for DNA, and yeah, definitely suspicious cover up that's going on.
They
And despite
refused it?
claims, yeah, they refused it. They wouldn't test the hair
Okay.
because there's a
Well, I
the,
mean, yeah.
the evidence the evidence raised suspicion for the cover up that's going on. You know what I mean? Like, they had to cover it up and then also not test DNA because we're covering it up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
True.
if they would have tested DNA, who knows who would have came up in that DNA? They already coerced the girls to
Yeah.
say there was one guy, so you can't have DNA evidence say otherwise. But yeah, so the police incompetence, there was rivalries, like we mentioned, delaying Dutroux's arrest. And in 1997, parliamentary inquiry described police handling as inhumane, inept, and inefficient. Yeah, but I thought it was going to mention something. Hold on, let me see here. I think I have something written in here about. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, Regina Louv, a key witness, claimed that she was sold into prostitution as a child and attended sex parties where little ones were abused and murdered. She provided detailed descriptions, rather, of murderers, including that of Christine Heese, which was another girl that went missing. There's so many names, which matched autopsy reports in unsolved cases. However, her testimony was dismissed by the judge and Thilly as fantastic or fantasist. Wow, dude. Dude, they just always discredit and throw out the testimonies. And there were suspicious deaths. 20 to 27 witnesses and individuals connected to the case died under mysterious circumstances, including suicides, unsolved murders. Man, doesn't this sound familiar, dude? This reminds me of the Black Goo episode. This reminds me of Epstein's situation. I mean, we were going to make a list. I was going to make a list of all the people that have died since the Epstein thing happened. I mean, there's literally like 20 as well. So it's like, it's right up there with all this shit, too. So yeah, the advocate general died by suicide in 1999, and a police officer investigating related crimes was killed in 96, which was the year that he got caught. So there's some X dossiers, which are essentially the witnesses that were called X1, X2, X3, etc., because they wanted to keep them anonymous. They claimed, dude, that maybe I'll pull it up because pretty much critics argue that the investigations were deliberately suppressed to protect powerful figures.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what they were claiming in there. And we could read out the X dossiers. I thought about it. If you all want to hear about the X dossiers, we will do a nice little chill pod about it later. So you just let us know. So yeah, there's never evidence of like a whole thing, but there always is adjacent evidence. Because when you look into the businessman, he was connected to really elite people. And then that's when it starts to spread out. So maybe we'll have to deep dive the businessman and the people connected to him. Because this is about it with the Dutroux case. I mean, the public distrust was there. They had the white marches. Nothing came out of it. Here we are. Same shit happening over and over. So, yeah.
That is
So,
very sickening.
mm-hmm. Oh, and also there was satanic elements as well. In 1996, there was a RTBF article that alleged connections to satanic sex. And I definitely always put that in there when it's involved because this is the global elite satanic pedophile ring series. And that's always seems to have all of them involved. But Dutroux was pretty much the fall guy, okay? And some users describe this whole thing as just, letting him go so that way nobody else gets in trouble, kind of like Epstein and what they're doing now. So this is why we brought it up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Sorry, I'm seeing if there's anything else I missed that I could let you know. But I think we hit it all.
Yeah, I think so. I was reading through it as you were talking. I
It was
had
300.
enough.
Yeah, it was 300 to 400,000 people that marched and participated in that white march. And that's the type of shit we need to see, but on a real level so we can stop this shit for real. Another white march, a real white march. And I know in America, the whole white supremacy thing, nobody wants to call anything white. And that's just crazy because it's like, who's white? I mean,
Yeah,
let's
you
be real.
can't. Yeah,
What define white, dude? You know what I'm saying? Because like, there's motherfuckers that are white with negative. Or there's people that are white that are English white, right? But then like they have native, and you wouldn't even know it. So it's like, and everybody has some other ethnicity in them. So you say white, and it's like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's just a whole nother rabbit hole there. But whatever.
yeah.
White and black duality. It's all about the whole esoteric fucking keep you in the dichotomies of left, right, white, black,
Yeah.
red, blue, all that shit. But anyway, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, man. We broke down a lot in this one. It was real dark. I apologize. You know what I mean? We are kind of like, dude, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to let y'all know what's going on, man, but I'm over it, dude. I mean, we bring this shit. We laid down the evidence for this shit. I hope y'all see it. Uh, I think I'm done with the GESPR series, dude. What do you think?
We may squeeze a couple more out,
We'll
but
squeeze some more in sometime, but it ain't gonna be this fucking much of a deep dive. I'll tell you that much, dude. This was
I think we
it was
got
yeah,
I think we got the bulk out. Um,
I agree.
it's beyond fucked.
Yeah, it's really fucked, and it's been happening throughout the past 40 years. That's been recorded, but of course, throughout recorded history, we know that child sacrifices was a thing in every culture back in the
Yeah,
day, right? That's a known thing. So then you look and it's like, oh, it never ended, right? So maybe we need to actually not kind of put out there that we're some kind of civilized culture, but actually become one, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome.
Be
Go check
safe
us
out
out,
there.
man. Yeah, be safe out there, dude. Go check us out on the socials, man. Give us that follow. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to do our thing out here, man. We're trying to give you guys what they want. We got some big shit brewing. We'll be hitting you with it soon. I hope y'all enjoyed. Go check out the Outside Minds podcast. I think you'll love it. And we'll see you next time.